welcome back to the channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, unboxings. We generally like to talk a load of bollocks, tabletop gaming in general, and in this video we're going to be talking about a Tetramino style tile laying game. We're going to be talking about Barenpark, and in this game you will be taking tiles from a central display. You'll be putting them on your player board to score points that will hopefully allow you to win the game. So in this video I'm going to be giving you a very brief overview of the rules, be telling you what we do like, we don't like. Stay. Then we'll come back and we'll tell you whether or not Barenpark is worth your time and bother today and in the future. So remember, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel. Hit the like button and all that YouTube bullshit. We'll see you after this. Bollocks. So Barenpark, how do you play this game? So Barenpark is a Tetramino style tile laying game for 1 to 4 players. You're going to put a load of different tiles out onto the central display, and depending on how many players you are playing with, you'll put a different number of tiles out. You'll see that the central display is divided up into a number of sections. You've got the green section, you've got the animal house section, and then you've got the enclosure section. Right, each player will take a random park entrance tile. Starter player will get 1 solitary toilet. The next player will get a playground, and if you're playing with 3 players, then they'll get a playground as well. And then the 4th player will get a food street tile. Yeah, you'll stick these in front of you. So this game is really simple. You're going to do 3 things on your turn. You're going to place a tile. You're going to evaluate all the icons on the tile, and then if you can, you will be placing a bear statue onto the board, right? So first thing you're going to do, you're going to place a tile from your supply. Remember, we said that you picked up either a bog, a playground, or a food street. Well, you're going to be placing that on your first turn, right? There's a few placement rules you've got to adhere to. You can't overhang the board. You can't place the tile over the pit. And the tile that you place, aside from the first tile, has to be orthogonally adjacent to an existing tile, right? You can overhang a tile if you do have another park tile attached to your entrance tile. Otherwise, you can't have like a bear enclosure hanging off the edge of the world, can you? So once you have placed a tile, you will evaluate the icons that you covered up with the tile that you placed. If you covered up a green wheelbarrow, this will allow you to take a tile from the green section of the central display and put it in your supply. No, you can't place it straight away, you fucking idiot. If you took a white cement truck, this will allow you to take an animal house tile and put it in front of you. And if you covered up an orange excavator, then you can take an enclosure tile. The last icon that you can cover up is the construction crew. This will allow you to take park area tile and put it next to one of your tiles. The only thing you've got to remember with this is that once you place your 4th tile, you have to have a square. So you can't like have 4 horizontal tiles. They've got to be in a square shape, yeah? And then finally, you may be able to place a bear statue. If you've covered up all of the tiles aside from the pit on one of your park tiles, then you'll be able to place a bear token over the pit. And you'll see that each bear token has a number of victory points on it. Naturally, you'll be taking the most expensive one, won't you? I suppose there's a 4th action you can pass. If you can't place nothing, you take a free green tile, right? So you keep doing this until someone has completed every single space on all 4 of their park areas, or everybody has passed because they can't place any more. And then everyone will get 1 more turn. You'll add up all the values of all the tiles that you placed, including the bear statues, and the player with the most points will be the winner of Barenpark. Hang on a sec, there's a little bit more. There's also a few variants. You've got achievements in here which give you points for completing certain objectives. Like for instance, you might get 8 points for having 3 polar bear tiles. You might get 8 points for having 3 goby bear tiles. You might get 9 points for all 3 enclosures in your park forming a cluster. Or you might end up getting 10 points for having 3 river tiles forming an uninterrupted watercourse. Not intercourse, watercourse. Once the game ends, the player with the most points will be the winner of Barenpark. So what do we like about Barenpark? So the first thing that we really like about this is it is a very colourful game. Okay, I'm not really a big fan of orange. That's probably because I have been saddled with that accursed ginger gene. But when you start placing more tiles out onto the board, you get a nice palette of greens, yellows and blues, right? So this game is really colourful. And the aesthetics of the game are quite thematic. You've got those little tiny cute bear characters on there. And I suppose if you want to be cynical about it, it does feel like you're just placing tiles. But I am a bit of a fantasist at heart. So I actually do feel I am I'm creating my own little bear park fashioned by me. Right, unicorns are real. So the next thing that we really like about Barenpark is that green tiles are shit. They don't do fuck all, they don't give you any points, but they are essential to your success, right? So that's a nice little conundrum that you've got to solve in your head. There is going to be a run on the toilets. Everyone is going to be rushing around looking for somewhere to have a dump. But once these tiles are gone, they are gone. You're going to need these tiles to connect other tiles to fill in the gaps that the big tiles won't let you complete, right? But in doing that, you're going to be wasting a turn, not getting any points. So we really like the fact that whilst these green tiles are absolutely essential to you winning the game, if you take too many dumps, you're going to be in the shit. Literally. So the final thing that we like about Barenpark is that it is so fucking easy to teach. This is a relief game for me. After all of these complicated games that you see around you, these games that you need PhDs in mind fuckery to get to the table, Barenpark is so easy. My 6-year-old daughter had absolutely no trouble playing this game and actually beating me at it, right? The fact that you are just going to be placing a tile and then taking a tile, she got that first time. She understood that each tile has its own victory point value and you need to get victory points to win the game, right? So the rule set is a piece of piss. Maybe it's not going to satisfy you Paths of Glory wargamers out there, but put down your fucking Kalashnikov for 1 second, step outside and just go and see if a bear really does shit in the woods. So what don't we like? Barenpark. So the first thing that we don't like about Barenpark, this is a fucking pain in the arse, right, is that the tiles slide around on the board. Only takes someone to knock the fucking table and your feces-filled toilet is going to be sloshing it around all over the table. Word of advice, don't wear wizard's sleeves when you are playing this game because you are going to be on a hiding to nothing. So if you knock these tiles off, you aren't going to really remember where they went. And if this happens in the latter stages of the game, when you've got 4 park tiles out, then you are going to be royally screwed. So be careful out there. The next thing that we don't like about Barenpark, and this is probably more of a criticism of my pigeon-sized brain more than anything, is that I have trouble remembering what icons are under the tile that are just placed. Right, okay, that might make me thick as pig shit, but if this happens to you when you are placing a tile that's in the centre of a load of other placed tiles, unless you've got fingernails the size of the Wicked Witch of the West, then you're going to really struggle to get your sausage-sized fingers into the crack to pull it out, right? Few little problems with this game, right? The fact that I haven't got the mental capacity to remember a couple of icons and my fingers are as thick as children's arms, right? So final thing that we don't like about Barenpark is that as the tiles run out, and it's a good thing, right? I like the fact that you are going to be challenged for taking the tiles that you want, but as the tiles run out, you're left with this sort of empty feeling that there's not really anything else to take from the central display and you're just going to be taking stuff for the sake of it. The last few turns, when you cover up the last few icons, you're going to be focused more on filling in those spaces rather than the tiles that you are going to take. And when that competition for tiles sort of runs dry, then, I don't know, I'm just left with this barren feeling when I'm playing Barenpark. I wonder if that was a conscious decision by the designer. So to summarise, is Barenpark worth your time and bother today and in the future? So we are going to say yes, Barenpark is a sound and enjoyable tile placement game that sits neatly alongside similar games like Carcassonne and Alhambra. It looks absolutely gorgeous, it's easy to teach, and there are some really meaningful choices contained within the simple rule set, yeah? Tiles are subject to unauthorised movements if you aren't really careful, and it does leave you with a little bit of an empty feeling towards the end of the game here when all the tiles run out and there's not really that much to take. I suppose you could say it does have a little bit of an anti-climax, you know, and because of this, what could have been an excellent game is sort of just merely a great game. So there you go, that's Barenpark. Remember, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel, hit the like button and all that YouTube bullshit. See you next time.